back everyone to Blender and Unreal Engine, becoming a dungeon prop artist, and this is where we left it off. So now, let's actually first of all put these on the floor so they're actually not floating in the air. So I'm just going to press 1, making sure they're on the ground plane, like so. I'm going to grab this one and this one, like so. Grab my jug, pick it up, and I'm just going to move my jug over here, like so. Alright, now let's press Shift S, cursor to World Origin. Let's bring in, again, we'll bring in another cylinder, and we'll do both of them at the same time. I'll just move him a little bit over there, like so. Shift A, let's bring in a cylinder. Let's make it the right size, so something like that. As said, pull it up, and that looks a fairly decent size L mug. Then let's come in, grab the top and the bottom, delete faces. Now, I always tend to work where we're working with multiple assets, so we try and build them pretty much at the same time, because then you can use pretty much the same things as what you've done for the first one. So like with this one now, I can press Tab, Shift D, bring it over, and now I can work on these two at the same time. So let's come to this one first. I'm going to add in a few edge loops, so Control R. Let's just bring in 3, left click, right click, and then what I'll do is I'll put proportional editing on, grab this center one, and I'm going to bring it in just a little bit like so. And now we'll come to this one, pretty much the same thing. So Control R, 3, left click, right click, grab the center one, S, bring it out. And with this one, I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. I don't want them to be exactly the same size. So what I'm going to do is just bring it down like so, press 1, and then I think actually I'll leave them like that because I do want a bottom on them as well. So I am aware of that. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is, I want to make this metal bands that go around them. Luckily for us, because we brought in the edge loops, we can actually use those to actually put the metal bands on. So I'll come to this one first, Alt-Shift-Click, and then what I'll do is I'll press Control-B, like so, and then we'll use those for those metal bands. Now, I just need to bring these out. I don't really need to do anything else with them, so all I can press is E, Enter, and this time, instead of pressing S, take off proportional editing, you'll see that when I bring them out with S, it's not really how we want it, because you've got them coming out larger than the inside, and that's not what we want. So instead, you can just press Alt-S and just kind of move them out, and you'll see that they come out then really, really even, and they look much better. So if I shade smooth now, I'm putting auto smooth, you can see how nice that actually looks now, instead of bringing them out you know, at an angle or something like that. All right, let's do the same with this then. So Alt-Shift and click, Alt-Shift-Click 3 times, Control-B, and we'll make these ones a little bit smaller, I think, something like that. E again, Alt-S, bring them out, like so, and there you go, shade smooth, auto smooth on, and there you go, as simple as that. Now, we could use a solidify on these, but what that would mean is that we'd actually have to take off these parts to actually solidify. So I don't think that would be the right way to go. I think what we'll do though is grab the top edge, we'll just press E, Enter, S, bring it in a little bit, and then all I'm going to do is just bring it down. So I'll press E, Z, pull it down to the bottom, near enough, which is around here. So something like that. And then all I'll do is I'll just make sure that I'm happy with the inside of it. So with the inside, I'm going to bring in probably, 3 edge loops, something like that. So Control R, 1, 2, 3, left click, right click. And then all I'm going to do now is just pull this out a little bit, like so. And there you go. You can see we've got the inside of it done. Now let's come to the bottom of it. So Alt-Shift-Click, Alt-Shift-Click. I'm going to bridge these edges. So right click, bridge edge loops, and you'll end up with something like that. Let's bring the bottom of this down a little bit. So the inner part of it down, just to make it a little bit better. And now finally, let's create the bottom of the elm. So Alt-Shift and click, press 1, press E to pull it down, and now let's create that bottom bit. And the way we're going to do it is basically the same way as what we've done these. So Alt-Shift click to grab it all, E, Enter, and then Alt and S, and finally just pull it out a little bit, and there you go. A really, really nice elm. Now finally, all we want to do is just bevel off these tops now. So we'll come in, Alt-Shift click, Control-B, bevel them off a little bit, like so, and there we go. Now let's do pretty much the same as what we've done with this one as well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in first of all, I'm going to press E, Enter, S, bring it in, And then I'm going to bring it down to near enough the floor. So E and Z, well, near enough where this one is. So just round about there. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in some edge loops on the inside. So Control R, 3, left click, right click, grab the middle one, press the S button. And then what I'll do on this one is I'll grab both of these at the same time, the S button again, and just pull them out. And there we go. Now, the same thing with the bottom. So Alt Shift click, right click, bridge edge loops. And now finally, let's make the bottom part of this. So Alt Shift click, 1, E, bring it down, and then Alt Shift click, going around, and like so, and then Key, Enter, Alt and S, and then bring it out, and there we go. Another nice elbow. Now, finally, we just need to fill in these, so we can see that these aren't filled in. So all I'll do to do that is I'll come in, grab that one, F, grab the bottom one, F, like so, and then on this one, exactly the same thing, and the bottom, F, like so. All right, there we go. Now, the one thing we're missing is just the bevel on top of here. So Alt Shift click, Control B, pull it out just a tad, like so, and there we go. Okay, 2 elbows done. All we need now is the handles, and I think we'll have, as you can see on the reference, a more intricate handle on this one, a more simple handle on this one, and we're going to do it basically the same way as what we did with this jug here. So let's come in, and first of all, I think we can do both at the same time. So what I'll do is I will press Shift A, bring in a plane, spin it around, so RX90, and then just move it to the center, like so, and now bring in a curve, so Bezier curve, Tab, A, delete, vertices, and now we can come over to the right hand side. This should already be on surface anyway, and now we should be able to come in and create this this L1 first. So let's do this one first, and I'm trying to follow the way that this actual L1 looks. So I'm going to do that one, and now with this one I'm going to have it nice and round, so a little bit more. Like so. And don't worry about your curves, because at the end of the day, we can move these in and out and things like that. So don't worry too much about them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this behind there, this plane. If yours aren't like you want them, just have another go at them and just make sure you're happy with them. And then what we're going to do, because these are both together, we can do them both at the same time. So I'm going to come in first of all and use my extrude. And you can see one is going like that and one is going like that. I think it's this one. So if I come in and bring my move tool, make sure I've grabbed all this one, so I'm going to press L to grab it all, press Shift N, and then that'll spin it round exactly the same way as this one. That's exactly what I want. Now, the thing is, these I think are a little bit too thick, so I'm just going to bring my extrude down a little bit, something like that. And now finally I'm going to come and bring in my solidify. I'm also going to put this on shading flat with right click. So right click and where is it? Smooth shading. I need to press tab. Shade flat. There we go. Now we know how far we can bring out this. So let's bring it out. You can see that one's going this way and one's going this way. So I'm not actually going to move them at all. I can bring it a little bit in, as you can see. Actually, I might be able to get away with that. Yeah, that should actually be fine. All right, so I'm happy now with the thickness. Now let's come to this one first and we'll fix this one. So I'm going to go into this and I'm straight on again. So I'll press 1 on the number pad. And all I'm trying to do now is just make sure that this here is going to go into the right place. So I want basically a thing on here which is going to hold them on into place. So something like that. And I think I can get away with that. All right, let's do the bottom one. I think actually the bottom one I'm already happy with. The one thing now is I just want to grab the bottom, put proportional editing on, and then just press Alt S and just make it a little bit thinner as it comes down to there. All right, that's looking pretty nice. Now let's come to the other one. The other one, not so happy with. So let's grab this. I'm going to grab this handle, press G without proportional editing on, and just spin it round like so, and then G, and then I'm going to grab both of these, press G like so. And again, I'm not so happy with this, so I'm really just trying to shape this into the right way. Now, the other thing you can do is if you're having problems with, the angle and things like that, what you can do is you can grab them both, press delete, and just delete the vertices out of the way, and then bring in another vertex. So I'm going to grab this one and this one, right click, subdivide, and now when I bring this one out, you can see it makes it a little bit easier for you to actually get the shape that you're actually looking for. All right, so now I'm going to bring this one probably into here, something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one maybe out a little bit. Still not happy with that how it is. Yeah, that's much better. And then I'll bring this one, spin it around. Yeah, and I think I'm much happier with that. With this one, I'm going to keep it not smaller going down. I just want it like that, just a simple ale mug, something like that. All right, so I'm happy with that. Now, I'm probably aware that down here, there's probably going to be some issues with the mesh where they're crossing over and things like that, but I will show you how to fix that as well. So again, because we've got modifiers and we've got curves on there, all we need to do is object, convert, and convert to mesh. All right, so now if we come to this one, press tab, you can see, actually, we've done okay. We don't actually have any problems with it. Now, if you do have some problems, all you can do is you can just go in like this and just press delete and just dissolve edges. And what that'll do is just get rid of those edges that are overlapping for you. Of course, mine aren't so bad, but the one thing I did do is I forgot to turn down the amount of polygons. So I'm going to actually go back before I did that, and you'll see if I go back and go to my curve, I just want to turn that down. I don't want it so high, so I'm going to have it on 7 like I did with the other one, and then I'm going to go to Object, Convert, Mesh, and there we go. All right, everyone, so on the next one, we should be able to get these ale mugs finished, and then we should be able to move on and get everything actually textured, like the jug and these woods and things like that. All right, everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.